Hello, middle two. Welcome back to your classes. Wishing you a happy year this year, inshallah. Today, inshallah, we are going to discuss together a very important grammatical rule, which is the question 10. Before I start it, I would like to ask you some questions. Do you think that the question tag is like a question? It's like a question that you can form, like where do you go or what's your name? Okay, and what do you think about the importance of the question tag in our English language? The first question is, its answer is, it's not an ordinary question, it's a special question and it's formed by a special way. Question number 2, what is the importance of question tag? The importance is it makes the speaker sure of his words. Okay, let's read these sentences together. Can you see this example? Let's read it. He is a doctor, is not he or isn't he. Sentence 2, Sarah doesn't eat fish, does she? Okay, this is the shape or the form of the question tag. But how can I make this form? Let's know together. Okay, I'm going to start with a very simple and short sentence, which is when I say he Okay, middle two. Let's read and make the sentence together as a question tag. For example, when I say that they are at home. When we read this sentence, we'll find it's a very simple sentence, and when I ask you in which tense it is, you will see that it's a present simple tense. How can I form a question tag? First of all, it has to be at the end of any sentence. And you have to put comma before it and a question mark at the end of it. Between the comma and the question word, you have to write two things. The first thing is to write your helping verb. You have to write your helping verb. Second part, you are going to write your subject. You are going to write your subject. How can I write the helping verb first? Your helping verb is very easy. You can get in a simple way, which is your helping verb at the beginning of the first sentence. But please take care that if you find it in affirmative form, you have to change it into the negative form. Yani here, for example, I have are, I'm going to change it into aren't. What about your subject? Your subject here is they. I'm going to write it as it is. But we have some important things. What are? Number one, your helping verb, if it is in the negative form, it should be with the apostrophe because it has to be in a short form. Yeah, that means I can't write it or not. This is wrong. It has to be with the apostrophe. Number two, if you have a subject, which is, for example, like this sentence. Nada is tall. Let's do it together. What about your helping verb? It is. I'm going to change it here into isn't. What about your subject? The subject here is Nada. I'm going to change it into she. Why? Because again, I'm going to tell you that your question tag should be in a short form. And this is the short form. Okay, this is verb to be in the present form. Let's go to another example with another verb. Mom Okay, let's do a question or write here a question tag. Let's look here at our verb. Our verb here is cooks. What about its tense? Its tense here is a present simple form. How do you know that? That because we have mom, and mom is a singular noun, and with the singular noun I put or I add s to our verb as you see. Okay, so here, if I would like to get a helping verb, I'm going to focus on our verb which is cooks, and according to this verb, I'm going to write doesn't. Why I should write, or should I write doesn't? Because your first part of the sentence is positive, and it should be negative as I write now. What about your subject? It's mom. Shall I write mom? No, I can't write it. I have to write she, because again, I tell you or I told you before that your subject should be in a short form. Okay, let's practice another example. When I say that the children watch a lot of films. Okay, what about your question tag now? Okay, let's look at our verb here, it's watch. Okay, what about the tense? The tense is present simple form because our verb here is according to the subject which is a plural noun, so it's an infinitive verb. What about your first part of question tag? It should be not according to the verb. What about the subject? Shall I write the children? No, I can write it because our children are plural noun, so I have to write or replace it with a suitable pronoun which is they. Okay, let's practice another comment. Let's move to another part. When I say that Hannah studied English yesterday. If I ask you the most important question here, what about the tense of our sentence? The tense is first, the verb is studied, I underline it. What about the tense? It's past. How do you know that? Because we have IED added to the verb. And we have a key word which is yesterday. All of these are indications and marks for the past simple tense. If I ask you to write a question tag here again, we return it back to the comma and the question mark, and I will write 2 parts. The first part here should be your helping verb. Second again is your subject. What about our helping verb here? From the beginning I told you that our tense is the past simple, so here I'm going to write didn't as a helping verb. And I write didn't because my first part of the sentence is a positive form. What about our subject? The second part of the question is Hannah. Shall I write it? No, I can't because it's a name. I have to change or replace it with a pronoun which is she. And please don't forget that you are going to write didn't in that way because it has to be with apostrophe. It's not separate words like did not. Another example. When I say that they were sleeping. They were sleeping here is a sentence. I would like to write a question tag here. If you look at word as a verb, you will find it here as a main verb and it's a past one. But I can use it as a helping verb here, but change it first into were. And they. I didn't write any negative sentence until now, so let's try one together. When I say that my dad didn't do sports. Okay, what about our tense here? First, underline the verb, it's didn't do. What about the tense? It's a past simple tense. Okay, how do you know that? Because we have the word didn't. Okay, but if I would like to write my question tag again, I have to make it in a special way. If I have a negative form in the first part, I have to change it into positive one, so didn't change it into did, and my dad will be replaced with he. Middle two, sorry, I have a very important thing I would like to tell you about, which is what? For example, when I say that she never plays outside. Let's write a question tag here. I ask you the first question, which is, what about our tense here? You will say that plays is a verb and it's in the present form. So I have to write here, I will write does or doesn't. I'm going to write, if you answer it's a positive form, I'm going to write doesn't. But I would like to circle with me the word never. When you see the word never, it will give you the meaning that my sentence is not positive, it's a negative form. So put in your mind, if you find the word never, or the word rarely, or the word seldom, you are going to change your sentence from a positive form into a negative form. What shall I do now? I'm going to write here a question tag, but it will be positive because I have never, which makes my sentence a negative one. So here I'm going to write does she. Why? Again, because I have never, which makes my sentence a negative form. So I have to write my question tag, as you see here, a positive one. That's okay for the word rarely and the word seldom. Put it in your mind, it's a very important part in our lesson. Okay, middle two, let's practice together. It's a very important step that you write now and answer with me these questions. Here we are going to complete our sentences with a correct question tag. Let's read the first sentence with E, which is Jack watches TV. Again, before you start writing or answering my question, you have to put in your mind two things. Number one, what's my tense? Number two, what are our helping verbs? If you ask the first question, you hear, if you read it, you will find Jack watches, it's a present simple tense. Okay, as you see here. So, I'm going to write have doesn't or does. My sentence here is positive, so I'm going to write doesn't. And Jack will be replaced by he. Read sentence 2. He didn't finish the homework. Okay, it's a past. And my sentence here, if you read, you will find it negative. I'm going to change it positive. It will be did he. The third one, Rose read the book. Rose read the book. This is a very good sentence. Why? Because if I didn't read it well, you will not know that it's past or present. But my advice to you is, if you look at the verb read here, if it's present, it should have, at the end, it should have S. So it's not present. It's a past one. Because the past, it's not clear to write it read or to pronounce it in a different way. So now my sentence is past and it's positive. So so I'm going to write here didn't. And Rose will be changed into she because it's a girl. Sentence 4, the boy burned the book. Again, the boy burned the book. Here, look at burn it, it's our important verb. If you look at it, you will find it burn it. It's the second form of burn, so it's a past verb. And my sentence here is positive. I'm going to write didn't, and the boy will be written as he. I think it's very easy now and clear for you. Next one. This is the last sentence. I'm not sleepy. I'm not sleepy here. This is my sentence. And my sentence here is -1. So I'm going to change it here into a present form, which is am I. Why? Because here it's negative and it should be here +1, so I crossed the not. Let's move to some choices together. Choose the first word, then use his plan. Okay, let's choose the correct form of the verb. Refused, again, it's past as you see. Negative or positive? No, it's +1. So here I'm going to change or convert my word into negative. It will be didn't. And they write the word they outside the brackets. Practice number 2 is me. Please, they are late. Are here, I'm going to take it as a helping verb, so it will be easy to choose aren't. He came early. If you look at came here, it is the second form of the verb, it's past one. So it's a past simple verb. You have to write now a past helping verb, but it has to be in the negative form. Number 4, you like swimming. Circle my verb now, it's like. Like is a verb which is present. How do you know? Because we don't have any additions to the verb. So I'm going to choose a helping verb which is suitable for a present simple, which is don't you. This is the last sentence for you. You get up late in the morning, okay? As you know, you get up late or early, you are taking up late as usual every day. Get up late here is a present form of a verb, so I'm going to choose don't you. Take care that we have don't and we have don't you. I'm going to choose don't you because your helping verb should be followed by the subject, and the subject here is you. It remains as it is. Let's practice some exercises for the rewrite form together. Okay. Okay, sentence number 1. Let's read. He runs quickly, doesn't he? If you read the first part of our sentence, he runs quickly. And he asked me here to write the whole story. Quickly is the opposite of the word slowly. So how can I answer my question now? I'm going to write he. But I can't write runs. I have to change my first positive form into -1. Doesn't. And my verb after doesn't has to be infinitive, so it will be run. And I'm going to cross the word quickly and change it into slowly according to my question. Why did I write the word doesn't here? In order to keep the meaning of my sentence as it is. If you read the first one, the original sentence, accurately, you'll find it, he runs quickly. This is the same meaning for he doesn't run slowly. But if I didn't write the word doesn't, let's read it now. He runs slowly, I changed the meaning. So I have to write the word doesn't in order to keep the meaning equal. He doesn't run slowly. slowly, that means he runs quickly. Okay, I wish to be clear for you. And let's do our question tag now according to my answer. I write he doesn't answer. I'm going to change it and write does he. Okay. Let's do the second one. It's the same, I think. She is early for work. Okay. So if you write it, you will find that she goes here work early every day. Okay, I'm going to write she, but also the same, I'm going to change is into isn't. Cross early replaced by late. Okay, late for her work. Okay, why I write or change it is into isn't in order to keep the meaning of my sentence the same, because I have she is early that equals or the same meaning as isn't late for work. Okay, forget about the first one. Let's look here at the first part of the sentence. She is not late. Write a question tag for this. It will be is she. The last sentence. Tom didn't sing very well. Okay, if I ask you, how did Tom sing? You will answer his singing was well. So it's not bad. He didn't sing in a bad way. Sorry, in a good way. So I'm going to write Tom. And I'm going to cross didn't. Why? In order to keep my meaning the same. And didn't give you an indication that gives you indication that the sentence is in the past form, so sing will be in the past form, it will be sang. Okay, very. Cross well into and change it into badly. And let's do a question form now. It will be didn't what? Didn't he?